What's up, YouTube? My name's Zane. Today I have a new ban list, pure Spright deck profile that I got second place today at a Photon Hypernova case tournament. It was a lot of fun. The deck performed really well. I think it's still really strong without the elf. You just have to play differently, and I'll go into that in the deck profile. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let's get into the deck. This is the trophy I got for getting second place. Getting a collection of those now. And in my entry pack, I pulled a no name, no imprint Aluber, which is kind of insane. I've never pulled a card with no name like that. So it definitely like adds to the value. There's a lot of people that are interested in cards like that. But yeah, so let's get into the deck. So I played pure Spright, like no runic cards, nothing like that. I played the standard, just 3 blue, 3 jet, and then I played 2 red and 2 carrot. You have to play 2 red and 2 carrot now, I feel like, because you can't get them back with elf now, so you need another one in deck to get with starter. A lot of the time, the only way you can get it back from grave is with double cross summoning to an arrow, so that's why I played the extra copy of each. And you can afford to play like these kind of cards now because you don't need as much non-engine to beat tier, so you can play like a little bit more engine cards. But overall, I like this a lot. Like, I think the second carrot's also necessary because branded's so popular, and this card can negate branded fusion even through a branded loss because it negates the effect and not the activation. And then I played 3 beaver and 2 angler, same as last format, but the only reason I feel like to play more of these is Cash Tira can banish off the top of your deck, and potentially these will be dead, or could only summon 1 or something. But like overall, like I don't think that's a good enough reason to play more of them, because it makes your deck a lot worse just playing like Sunfish and stuff, like basically like playing vanillas. So I just stuck with the 5 like last format. I think it's correct. I didn't have any problems with it today. So then for the Spright cards or spells, I played 3 starter. I played Gamma Burst, Smashers, and Double Cross. So Double Cross, you'll search it every turn 1 essentially now, because before you're ending on Toad, and Toad could summon a free body from deck to be able to Smashers, you know? So instead you get double cross now, because this is a better interrupt. And like, also I didn't like playing this last format because you needed all of your cards to be playable against tier, and you don't want to draw this going second. But now you can afford to just play cards like this because the format's way slower. And this card is just like an insanely good interruption. It does so many things against every deck. Like it's so versatile, and it also can get you follow up. Like if you don't have to use it as an interruption, you can just summon like a jet back from grave, and then jet grab starter, and then you have, you know, combo next turn, which is really big. It happens a lot where you do that. So yeah, that's why I play the double cross. Smashers, I only activate it 1 time. This card could just be in the side deck. It might not necessarily need to be mained, because I barely ever used it. I was always getting double cross turn 1. If I was going second, I was pretty much always getting Gamma Burst to kill them. So I don't think it's like that necessary. You probably still side 1 for like floodgates and stuff, like Labyrinth or something like that. But yeah, I didn't play that card. I didn't activate that card very many times. But Gamma Burst, on the other hand, I searched this card almost every game just to OTK, because just a gigantic effect to summon blue, summon jet, and then search Gamma Burst is over 8,000 damage. So you can, it's so easy to kill when you play this card in your deck. Otherwise, you can't finish the game. And since you can't finish the game without this card, like your follow-up is not nearly as good as it used to be. So like you don't, like if your opponent like breaks your board that you put up, like when you don't kill them, then a lot of times you can't establish like a new board. So I think you have to play this card now with no elf personally. And then I play the 3 starter. Obviously, it's like probably best engine card in the deck. Then I played 2 prosperity. I didn't play 3 because this card's like pretty bad. It's only there for consistency. And the post side, it's obviously really good, but you never really want to banish 6 most of the time, because you need so much of your extra deck for utility, and you can't really resolve more than one of this card, so that's just why I played 2 instead of 3, because I didn't feel like it was like that broken to where I wanted to play 3, but I still needed it just for consistency reasons. Like, so I never want to draw more than 1, so I just played 2. That's all the engine. And so I played, for hand traps, I played 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and 3 Nib. I only played 9 hand traps in the main deck, because now you can let your opponent like play, like you don't have to like full stop them on their turn, and you can play like all the board breaker cards, like the rest of the deck, to be able to just like break the board and then kill them with Gamma Burst. Now you don't have to like prevent them. Like with Tyr, you could not let Tyr play. Like you had to play Beast Shields and stuff like that, because you, like if they played the game, like if they got to play their full turn, you were always losing. So you had to like prevent them from playing. But now you can like let them play a little bit, like, you know, stop, like interrupt like 1 time or twice, you know, and it's like fine. And then you have, you know, your board breakers and your engine to break the board, because decks are so much weaker now after the ban list. Ash, I think, is like one of the best ones because Branded is so popular. His card on Branded Fusion is really, really strong. And then Imperm, I feel like it's just the safest hand trap. It just hits everything like pretty well. It's not like game against anything, but it's not bad against anything. And then Nib, I think, is really strong right now because Sword Soul a lot of times will go for the draw 2 combo instead of making Baron. And this really like hard punishes that. Against Branded, this card's not like amazing, but it's still good enough. And then against Kashtira, I think it's like one of the best cards you can draw because it just like outs their board. They put up no negates usually unless they normal summon a level 3 tuner before they get locked into Xyz and make Baron, but that's very uncommon. So I played 3 Fenrir, 2 Eclipse, 2 Tactics, Change of Heart, and Mind Control. So sorry, the Fenrir's Fenrir I think is like the best card in the deck. Genuinely, it's so good. Like going first or second. You like now that you're not playing Bystials, you can actually afford to main this card, because before with Bystials it conflicted going second, but now you can going first. You just summon it, search another copy itself, and if you only have a level 2, you can still make Sprint with it. If not, it's a really good interruption to end your board with. So. And it just searches a free card, you know, it just does so much. Going second, it plays into boards really well, like most boards, other than like maybe the Branded board can out this pretty easy, but this usually applies a ton of pressure against almost every deck. And then I played Mind Control, Change of Heart in the main. These are just like take a threat, make Sprint with the monster. I nibbed my opponent one game and I Change of Heart the token and just attack for game. That was kind of cool, but these cards are super strong in this deck specifically, because everything just turns into a Sprint. So I really like these cards. Even if you draw them going first, it's fine. Like the turn 1 board that you put up of like Sprint, Carrot Red, Gigantic, Double Cross is like really good into pretty much everything. So you can afford to draw a dead card now. You don't need like as many interrupts as you did last format. And I played 2 Tactics and 2 Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is very strong into Kashtira, very strong into Branded as well. It turns off the Branded Beast Trap, it turns off Mirror Jade, it turns off the Ring Brum or whatever it's called, the one that can negate extra deck monster and bounce a card. It just turns off everything, so it's really strong going second. Going first, I'm not a big fan of it because yes, you can still set it and it's like an interrupt, but you don't want to use it till the end, like when you have to use it, because it flips down your board as well. And if you use it at the end as like your last interrupt, even if it does stop them, like all their monsters like flip up in the end phase and they get to draw 2 or 3 cards. So if you don't kill them on the next turn, they're starting they're most definitely going to win on the crackback. So I'm not a huge fan of this card going first, but going second is just so strong. And then Tactics, I like this card a lot, but I didn't want to play 3 because like the people aren't playing like Bystials now, or there's like a lot less of them. They're still there, but and there's like a lot, it seems like there's a lot less hand traps than there was. Like you're not getting like Havnist every game, or like Kelbeck and Bystials and stuff like that. So This card's like sometimes dead going first, and you never want to draw multiples of it, and it's like it's pretty good going second, but it's not like insane going second. So I just wanted to play 2 because I don't want to draw multiples, and sometimes it's just an entirely dead card. So that's why I didn't play 3. It has 41 cards. It probably should just be 40. I was playing 3 book and no pot this morning, but I ended up cutting one of the books and put in 2 pots just for consistency, because I was drawing test hands without the pots and it was bricking a little bit too often, so I just threw those in there. But if I played again tomorrow, I would probably cut a different card and just play 40. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but I would definitely not play 41 again. But I still ran smooth. I didn't brick all day, which was nice. And it was partially because of the prosperity. For the extra deck, played 1 Sprint, played 1 Dark, Phoenix. This card's really good against Labyrinth, and it's like the only way to get Angler out of your hand, other than like normal summoning it. It's the only way to trigger it out of your hand now that you don't play Swap Frog. I'm not a big fan of the Bujinte guy, Swap Frog into Toad, because I think it's like kind of gimmicky. I think the best part about it is it gives you more follow up, but it's so much investment. Swap Frog's such a bad draw now, and I'm not a big fan of that overall. I think that this is like way more consistent and still does enough to beat everything. So yeah, but I play the Phoenix for that reason. Played IP, Unicorn, and Avermax. These are obviously the 2 cards you go into with IP. I didn't summon IP at all today, actually. Like my end board was always like Carrot Red, Sprint, Gigantic, Double Cross, and sometimes there would be a Gin Buster instead of like a red or something. But I don't really like IP into like branded, and that's what I played the most of today. So yeah, that's why I played those cards. You could maybe like cut these cards for something else, but I'm not sure yet. Played 2 Gigantic and a 3rd Gigantic, essentially. This card, like the Gigantics are obvious, I don't have to explain those, but the Mannequin Cat's really strong, even though I don't side deck any targets for it, like specifically for Mannequin Cat. Just being able to Mannequin Cat back your opponent's Dark Monster and get a blue or jet out of deck is so strong. Like sometimes you'll just, if you have enough like non-engine interrupts, you'll just end on a Mannequin Cat. That way, like if you're playing against any dark deck, and they'll just summon a dark and you just get a free jet to grab starter, so you have like guaranteed follow-up. And this card like, overall is just like really strong. I played Gin Buster, I played Onabamaru, Cat Shark. Gin Buster, sometimes you just make it on your inboard. It's a solid card. I made it like 3 or 4 times today. It was really good every time I made it. Onabamaru is just to clear the board, and then it help you get to the OTK, which you're doing so much more now than you were with in last format. Cat Shark, same. Just sometimes it'll let you get game where you otherwise wouldn't be able to, like making a Gigantic 64. It's pretty big. And then the last 3 cards were Downer, and I played double Zeus. I played 2 Zeus because Kashtira, when they like look at your extra deck, like if you play 1 Zeus, they're always going to hit the Zeus, and if you play 2 Zeuses, then they won't hit your Zeus. So Zeus is like really important in that matchup. And then side deck, I played 2 time cards. I played this one because now without Elf, if you draw this card, you just cannot summon it. There's no way to summon it other than Double Cross from the grave, but you can't do that on your turn 1. And so I played this to be able to send with Sprint, but also if you're like Gigantic gets Imperm, then you can still Sprint send this. So I felt like it was worth playing the two slots. I played the 3rd Book of Eclipse for going second against Kashtira and Branded. It's really strong. And I didn't put it, I actually took out Book against Sword Soul because of the other cards I have in my side deck, but I played 3 Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, and 3 Evenly. So these are all, like, there's a lot more back row decks now. Like Labyrinth is just really popular now. So I wanted to like side pretty heavy for Labyrinth, but this card I feel like can go in against literally every deck right now. It's just so powerful. And Lightning Storm's really good into a lot of decks as well. Like Sword Soul, I put this in. Branded, I also put this in because they end on like 3 or 4 set cards, or Speller Traps, and just this is just like a blowout. So yeah, I played all those. Then the last 5 cards, I played 5 going first cards. I played 3 D barrier and 2 trap tricks, so essentially 5 D barriers, because every deck loses to D barrier this format. Like literally, it's so powerful. All the decks that people are playing, like just hard lose, Branded, Sword Soul, Kashtira, and even like against Spright, it's like really strong. It's like you can still play like with Spright, but you don't. I don't know. It's still good enough to side for sure. Yeah, that's the deck. It performed really well. I'm big fan of it. I think the Branded matchup like could be a little better if I changed a few cards. Like I'm not sure exactly what I changed yet. I'm going to do some more testing, but this, you know, is the first day of the new ban list, so there's a lot to learn. And I'm sure like after YCS Vegas, like the meta will shift a lot. People might find some stuff that's a little better. You know, there's probably going to be more tier limit stuff going on after the Vegas YCS, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to try and play that deck still. And some people might figure out like something really broken that I haven't thought of yet. So overall, I really like the deck. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend it right now. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.